Boys, what is up? Welcome back to the channel. First off, give a real quick shout out to every single one of you to getting us to close to, almost at the time of recording this, close to 2,000 subs. This is going to be a video I've been wanting to make for a little while. This is 5 ways to make 10 grand a month in 2025. I genuinely believe the last 6 or so, even less than that, 5 months or so of the rest of the year, you can do this. You can achieve this relatively quick. If you follow any one of them, I'm obviously biased towards a few, but I want to break down literal ways on how to literally do this. So first one, arguably my most important, it's the reason why it's number one, freelance what you're already doing within your 9 to 5. I cannot tell you how important this is and how much of a limiting belief this is for most people, that they don't think that they can make money on their own doing what they're already doing at their 9 to 5. So obviously if you're working at freaking McDonald's or some warehouse job, that's going to be a little beautiful M2 right there. If you're going to be working there, there's not much transferable skills, obviously, right? But if you're working as a SEO specialist at a marketing company or at a construction firm or at a real estate firm, right? This is X and Y skill, right? Y opportunity is the niche that you're in, and X is the vehicle or the skill that you can offer. So if it's SEO, lead gen, appointment setting, there's a whole bunch of things that you can do. Think of ways, especially like web designers. That's a huge one that I'm seeing right now, where they just go and do projects and fulfill on their own. So these are all very possible things. Now, obviously, get your boss's blessing, but within the network that you have, this is exactly what I did. I was in the real estate lead gen niche and appointment setting. My boss had a company. I worked at a startup for over 4 years. I'm gonna do my story kind of like from start to finish and where I'm at now in another video, but just to sum it up, like that's what I did. And then 4 years later, he made a ton of money. He was burnt out. He didn't want to run the company anymore. He said, guys, you have one of two options. You can either go, get a job with our biggest customer at the time, who was another kind of semi niche down lead gen business, or you can literally just go freelance for our clients, because literally as I'm offboarding clients, this is his words, there are people who need these services. These guys are going to need services and I'm just not doing it anymore. So I was like, well, the hell with it. I'm going with option 2. And guys, like it's the best thing I ever did in my entire life. Obviously, if you know my story, you know that's how I made most of my money. That's how I made most of my wealth. And I cannot recommend it enough. Just find ways on how you can do the exact same thing. I promise you it's possible. Even if it's within a cross niche, it's 100% doable. So obviously, side note to that, you can then build that into an agency, which is what I've done. Whether you want to freelance and just cash flow 5, 10, 15 grand a month, I capped out at 12 personally, and that's usually where most freelancers cap out at. You can either stay there, profit 90, 95%, or you can expand, lower your margins, but have a total, higher pie, scale to hundreds of thousands of dollars a month if you really wanted to, and the sky's the limit from there. So that's obviously why I like it the most. Number 2, it kind of goes into that, learn the skill of sales. Every single one of these is technically going to need you to know how to sell. And if you know how to sell yourself, that's one thing. But if you can just sell for other people's businesses as a very, starter opportunity, guys, like I cannot tell you how valuable that skill is. And if you don't have a business idea right now, awesome, go sell for somebody else's business. Ideally, high ticket, right? So focus on little niche communities, or what I do is I backtrack from what's called meta ads library, and I just find successful education or coaching companies that are already printing a ton of leads, already making a ton of money, and then find it that way, and reach out to them, cold DM, or you can find sales opportunities through job postings too, but I just don't think that's really valuable. The main thing to focus on here, obviously, to make a lot of money, focus on making other people rich. If you make other people rich, they will happily pay you 10 to 20, maybe 25% as a closer. Like that is a very key role right now. I know kids that are like in freaking high school right now, dude, that work for Jeremy Minor, that are making 17, 20 grand a month closing. Now, yes, it's a grind. It's very intense, but you can crush it as a closer if you know what you're doing. If closing is it's very intimidating. It's a lot of work. It takes a lot of coaching and training. Start as a setter, right? Start as an appointment setter, getting just leads to appointments. You don't even need to focus on closing the deals. That's obviously going to be lower money and lower commission, but you're going to be able to make some more. I'm just going to put the AC on here. It's freaking hot as hell in Canada right now. But yes, focus on closing deals for other people's businesses, high ticket ideally, education, info product companies. You can do agencies as well. Like you can make decent money closing for agencies if you know what you're doing, but there's just a lot of money in info products and education, if I'm being honest. And that's where you're going to find most of these people that need help with leads. That's why I said the meta ads thing, is because if they're running ads, they're probably getting a ton of leads. If they need leads, or if they have leads, they're going to need closers. They're going to need setters. They're probably already having a team member do that, but that's even better for you to step in and be like, hey, like if you need extra support, I'm here for it, right? So That's the online/remote ones. I guess skill number 3, this one's very, very gritty, but it's very profitable. I know a buddy from high school that is making like 23 to 22-ish grand a month, minimum 20 grand a month doing this very profitably, and that is removal services. So think junk, snow, tree removal. Obviously that's more, advanced and more higher experience level. But the point is, removal services are key, guys. Like, people will pay. There are such high budgets set aside in very luxury, high-end neighborhoods and commercial neighborhoods or commercial buildings to do this. Like, there are crazy contracts that I've seen from removal service companies. It's just like, damn, like, these are boring, very unsexy businesses. You don't even have to technically start anything crazy. Just focus on getting a few clients, and you'd be shocked at how quickly you can get to 5 to 10 grand a month within a couple of months if you get a bit of work rolling here for yourself. So this is a good one. Obviously, like I said, it's very hands-on. You're gonna have to master a certain neighborhood. I would start with running ads, like if you really had to. Even door knocking, I know that's like I said, it's a grind, but it's gritty, but it can work, and you can build your book of business that way to get repeat clients that need your services. So I don't know, I thought of that one. This is obviously a repeat of the video I made a couple months ago on the main channel, but this one I still see as stupidly profitable. You can go into upsells too, like landscaping or different things you can offer to bolt onto your main service. It doesn't just have to be black and white packages. You can customize things for certain people. So something to think about. Number 4, flipping high ticket items, specifically from, you could do Marketplace, Craigslist, Kijiji, whole bunch of platforms. You can find undervalued items. So obviously it's gonna be tough to do with like a freaking $100 chair, but find like art, I've seen people do it with shoes. I've seen people do it with like gaming systems. Like, there's little niches you could focus on. I would say in the beginning, just do anything. Just find an undervalued item that you can either apply some basic hands-on TLC to, or your own work, or just something like people underlist things all the time, guys. I would say it happens more than you often think. That I see items, I'm like, damn, nothing's actually wrong with this damn thing. This guy just doesn't understand what he has. So think about that. It is 100% possible. You just need to know where to look. Go to certain counties, obviously make it worth it. If it's X amount of gas to get to a certain destination, make your means there. But just be careful, and it's 100% doable. I promise you. This is a good one because it's more hands-on. It teaches you basic communication skills, also teaches you how to negotiate. I've seen people do this pretty successfully, and it's just something that I think not a lot of people are focusing on. There's nobody that wants to obviously even get to a point of flipping freaking items, or nobody really thinks of that. If you don't even have any money too, you could start this for free. Do what I did, where you're almost like a connector. You're a middleman of like, hey, if I find a buyer for this car, for example, I know a guy who flips cars. Shout out YT Cars, I think his name, or his name's Colin. He drives the red GTR. He's from Ontario too. He's really cool. That's all he does. He flips freaking cars, dude. He finds undervalued things, people that don't know what they have, and or something that he can, apply work to, and he makes a ton of money from it. He hit his first 20 grand a month a couple months ago. So something like that is 100% doable. You just need to know where to look. That is the key thing that a lot of people will look for 2 seconds and then give up on it. If you don't have money, all you need to focus on, find something at high ticket enough that you can have enough of a spread. If something is listed for 5 grand, you bring a buyer to it, negotiate with the seller and be like, hey man, if I find you a buyer from a Marketplace community post or something, will you give me $500? Will you give me $1,000? It's 100% doable. A lot of people just don't realize there's a solution for it. So the final one here, number 5, consult, and I have a very specific video on this coming out, like step by step. So I'm not gonna go into that just now, but number 5 is consult on the knowledge you already have. You would be surprised, guys. Obviously, this is more, non-beginner friendly. This is for someone who has experienced knowledge, but you'd be surprised even if you know how to play guitar really well. Like, if you build an audience well enough, you can make a killing by teaching guitar lessons to a certain niche, or obviously through, content creation and knowledge through console calls, or obviously AdSense is a big one, but you want to monetize through your own products. You want to monetize, which I talk about in this video coming up, and there's millions of different things you can teach on. Obviously, if you're in the freaking government sector for some service, you can sell that. You can consult on the knowledge. People will pay you $100, $200, $500, $1,000 an hour just for your knowledge. And obviously, you don't need crazy amount of clients at that rate to make a good living, to make good money, right? So just something to focus on. Obviously, for me, I do console calls on the main channel, on the BizPath channel, just about business, starting at agencies, learning how to sell. It's a nice Bentley. I think it's a Continental GT right there. I've seen this guy multiple times. It's actually an interesting spec. yeah, dude, like, people don't realize what's already in their head. And I know it's kind of guru-y to say that. It's kind of, monetize what you've already know. It's like, okay, well, if you only know freaking video games and working out, it's like, to a certain level, you're kind of capped. But if you have a large enough audience, there really isn't no ceiling. Like, you can actually expand much further than you'd think. You just, again, need to get traffic. You need to get eyeballs and an audience on you. So I don't want to draw this video out, really any further. There are, some light talking points. I'm, again, talking completely off the cuff here, but there are serious and way even more ways to make money than what I just listed here. There are a million ways to make money that you would never even think of. You just need to know where to look, right? So at this rate, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm downtown Oakville again. I might make another video while I'm here. We'll see. But if you have any questions on any of these, please let me know as well. As always, if you made it this far, I want to see you win. We will see you in the next one. And thank you for your time.